The chamber was dead silent, an unsettling kind of quiet that seemed to thicken the air. Everyone knew something explosive was about to happen. Senator John Kennedy leaned back in his chair, his sharp Louisiana drawl waiting to cut through the noise like a blade. Across from him sat Representative Ilhan Omar, her posture rigid, her gaze fixed, the tension in her shoulders betraying the confidence she tried so hard to project. Cameras rolled, reporters scribbled furiously, and millions across the country prepared for a clash that no one could have predicted would end the way it did. The exchange began innocently enough, a question about foreign policy decisions and the spending of taxpayer dollars overseas. Omar launched into a familiar speech about humanitarian aid, global responsibility, and America's role in the world. Her words, polished and passionate, flowed like a well-practiced script. Many in the room nodded. But Kennedy didn't flinch. Instead, he quietly sifted through a stack of papers before him, waiting for the right moment. Then he struck. "Congresswoman," he said slowly, his southern cadence deliberate, "you talk a lot about compassion, about sending billions of dollars overseas. But while you're pushing those dollars out the front door, have you looked back home? Have you sat with the single mother in Minnesota working 3 jobs to feed her kids? Have you talked to the laid-off steelworker in my state who doesn't know how he's going to keep his lights on? Because if you have, I'm curious, how exactly does writing blank checks to foreign governments fix their problems?" The words landed like a thunderclap. Omar froze, just for a second. Her eyes darted toward her notes. She tried to pivot, insisting that aid abroad prevents wars and stabilizes economies. But Kennedy wasn't finished. With surgical precision, he pulled out statistics, charts, and case studies, facts that painted a different picture. He highlighted instances of aid money being funneled into corrupt regimes, of projects that collapsed before they began, of American dollars funding luxuries for dictators while American veterans slept homeless in the streets. Each fact hit harder than the last, and the room shifted from polite murmurs to stunned silence. Omar raised her voice, insisting that morality demanded generosity. But Kennedy leaned forward, his voice low and calm, almost fatherly. "Ma'am, morality also demands honesty. And it demands that when we take money from the pockets of hard-working Americans, we spend it wisely. Right now, you're asking a truck driver in Louisiana to skip fixing his own roof so he can pay for someone else's palace overseas. That isn't compassion. That's cruelty disguised as kindness." A ripple swept through the chamber. Even those who often sided with Omar felt the weight of Kennedy's words. It wasn't just a political takedown, it was a moral reckoning. She tried to respond, her hands trembling slightly as she shuffled her notes, but